Right, Bo, we need to talk about the sweet GDP, the smell of GDP. It's in the air. It's absolutely unequivocally. People are to get me for saying unequivocally. I'm going to stop. It's absolutely demonstrably down on the air, on the cliffs of Dover. We can smell the GDP. Okay, but Rachel Reeves can't. All right, the economy has shrunk to the surprise of absolutely no one but a bunch of imbeciles. I love this. I absolutely adore these headlines because the gaslighting is beyond belief. Reeves disappointed after economy unexpectedly shrinks. You're like, really? Really? Was that unexpected? Was it? Was that unexpected? Did you think, Bo? I know neither of us are economists like Rachel Reeves. Okay, I know we're not. Okay, but did you think when she implemented all those tax rises, did you think that the economy would grow? Were you expecting it to grow?
Not if you dump another hundreds of thousands of new people, most of whom who don't work, on top of that. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
A lot of the headlines for this said shock, unexpectedly, or shock. It's a shock, a disappointing shock that the GDP has shrunk for the second month in a row. Yeah, I mean, the lunatics have taken over the asylum. It's often the case that government ministers aren't necessarily, or it's nearly always the case, really, the government ministers aren't a true expert in their department. Okay, that's the way it often is. It's the way it's often got to be. But there's a few things where you would really, really, really want it to be the case. For example, you would like the health minister to have worked in the NHS before. You would really like the head of the Department of Defence to have been in the services. Okay, but you really need the Chancellor of the Exchequer to understand at least macroeconomics. At least a bit. Right? Not necessarily looking for a double PhD in political political economy, but that would be nice. But this Rachel Reeves from accounts, from HR, she doesn't know. She really doesn't know what she's talking about, because it can be a bit of a double-edged sword. Like Gordon Brown was an economist, but he was a lefty one, and he sold all our gold and all sorts of things. But to have someone who really honestly doesn't know what they're doing in number 11, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, is terrible. It's like, it really is difficult not to come to the conclusion that they're deliberately trying to ruin us.
Yeah.
Perhaps so that they can bring in a command economy, true socialist style. But no, I mean, I said this on Lotus Eaters the other day. In my master's degree, I studied a bit of political economy, a little bit, right? And my career was always in private banks, asset management, commodities trading. So, I know a little bit, right? I haven't got a PhD in economics, but I know a little bit. And if you just have massive unemployment, keep throwing hundreds of thousands, completely historically unprecedented new numbers of people, the welfare bill going through the roof, the NHS bill going through the roof, we borrow money to pay the interest on our debts. Gilt markets, bond markets are completely jittery. If there's another credit crunch, it can't go anywhere other than straight to the Bank of England. Gold is at some kind of near all-time high. Bitcoin is at a near all-time high. The only thing left to do when our economy really starts falling off a cliff is quantitative easing, i.e. printing loads more money. And that will make the inflation, which we've already suffered from badly over the last few years, Mr. Biden's inflation, that will just go through the roof. And it's just a downward spiral.
Yeah.
She's ruining the economy, really, though. This isn't just someone on the other side of the political aisle having a bit of a moan and it's not really good enough, sort of finger wagging. No. They're properly ruining the economy.
Yeah. This is absolutely disastrous. I mean, it's so what is it? I can't remember the exact term. I'm not an economist, right? However, I don't pretend to be. This Tard absolutely does. What is it? The gilt markets, the gilts.
Yeah, bonds, government bonds. Yeah.
So they spiked higher than when Liz Truss caused the crash of the economy that everyone keeps banging on about. So I mean, we're in for some really bad times ahead, like really, really, really bad times. And this is an article on the BBC. So the government mouthpiece, right? Let's have a look and we'll see, even if they can ease the concerns, which they won't, obviously. But Chancellor Rachel Reeves has called the economy's recent performance disappointing. Oh, just disappointed. Disappointed.
It's like it's like she's slightly annoyed with like an unruly child because it's not doing exactly as she said. It's like,
oh, it's ridiculous. So, and again, it showed it shrank unexpectedly in May. Again, no.
I mean, it only shrunk by a little bit, like 0.1%. Okay, that is marginal.
But that's 2 months in a row, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we get 3 months in a row, if we get 3 months in a row, that's a recession. That's the official recession, isn't it? If I remember rightly. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, that is the definition. But we've had that a fair few times over the last 5 or 6 years. We've had that happen a number of times. But yeah, I mean, the other thing about unemployment, bringing in loads more people that are unemployed. I mean, that alone is insane. When I was younger, when I was a teenager, I suppose, just first beginning to actually fully pay attention to news and the world around me when I was a teenager, and all through my 20s, the unemployment figures were a thing that got talked about a fair bit and would be in the news headline. Unemployment up by a certain amount, unemployment down by a certain amount. And now they just don't ever talk about it. You hardly ever see a headline just about unemployment because
it's probably atrocious.
Yeah. Because it's off the charts because most people that come over don't work.
Of course not. Why would you? Just freebies. Like, why would you? Why would you? Now, sorry, I was laughing there because I just read the next paragraph and it's probably the most hilarious thing I've read in a while. The fall in economic output, which confounded analysts who had expected to see slight growth. Or what analysts? What? Fire them. Just fire them. They're terrible. Now, it says this. It was mainly driven by a drop in manufacturing. And the ONS said, while retail sales are very weak. Well, why do you think manufacturing has dropped? Well, maybe because we pay for some of the highest energy bills in the entire world. No one can pay to build anything because it costs incredible sums of money. And on top of that, you can't hire anyone because now you've got extra tax on national insurance on top of it. The moment they did that, hike on national insurance contributions from employers, it saw thousands of people being fired from places like just normal like grocery stores like Sainsbury's and things like that. Thousands were being fired. Like, what was the expectation here? It's just to me it's insane and probably quite right, maybe absolutely deliberate. I think
there's loads of things they do, quite a few things they do where it's shown throughout history, modern history, time and time and time again, that if you do this, it's bad for the economy. But it's a leftist talking point. So they still do it. The idea that we'll just keep taxing the rich. So the rich just leave then.
Yeah, they have the means just to up sticks and just say, see ya. No, I'm not going to stay here. Why would I? Why would you? I mean, if I could leave, I would leave now. Why would I keep paying for a government to spaff my money up the wall that also actively hates me to also give it away to random foreigners? No, this just is. Among all things, it's deeply unfair. And people like fairness.
The point of a government, or one of the points, and is only broadly speaking, is to look after the welfare of the people, the general interest of the public. And they're failing in that duty. They're absolutely failing in their duty, a dereliction of duty. The only real question left is it deliberate or not? Now, I am one of those people, call me cynical, who doesn't really believe hardly ever that it's just incompetence. I think that that's hardly ever the case, although they are also incompetent, but just accidentally incompetent. I would put it down to malice. I would think they would want to, like flooding us with foreign migrants so they can make the argument that we need digital IDs, for example, right? Completely Machiavellian and cynical, and just absolutely not in the best interests of the nation and the people. It's what they're doing with the economy, it seems. If they destroy it enough, they'll be able to say, right, the government will have to take lots and lots of things into hand, nationalize loads and loads of things. Well, that's what pinkos and commies and socialists and leftoids have always want to do. And if they create the situation where they can make that argument, spurious as it is, then they'll do it. And they don't care how many people are unemployed or go hungry or become homeless or whatever. These are incompetence, but with malice.
Yeah.
I suppose it's both. Both are happening at the same time.
Evil idiots.
Mm.
Evil idiots.